Hello everyone. Okay, so we started season 11 last week. We are now on to episode 2, the second part of Acheron. We've got a brand new mission, so let's take a look at that. Let's have a chat about what the game is throwing at us, and then let's have a quick chat about the episode. So this, why has Maggie got a harpoon gun? This seems a little strange because Maggie's got a harpoon gun. It would make a lot more sense to have a bow because that's what she had. Negan's here sort of makes sense, I guess. And Daryl was separated from the group, so this is a strange setup to represent, the episode that we just saw. All right, okay, well. Fine. I did want to try out the harpoon pistol anyway, so yeah, it's not bad. It really is just like the harpoon gun, just a little hand version of it. Okay, so this bit represents, I don't think anything that happened in the episode in particular. Yes, they were kind of making their way through the underground tunnels, but they were kind of making their way through a train. Maybe the graphics couldn't represent that. Still gets the feel of it across, I guess. It does, it does look interesting. It looks okay. It gets the feeling of the episode across. You got some walkers sort of crawling out to give you a few surprises. I'll allow it. It's a fun little mission. No great shakes. Let's see what it's like on hard. And of course we've got some Maggie tokens up for grabs. That's just fantastic. This harpoon gun, kind of liking that. I like that, like with a harpoon rifle, you can fire the special attack and still make a normal attack. That's pretty good. So, alright, I kind of like it. I approve. So, the episode itself, Acheron Part 2. What did everyone think of it? I quite liked it. So, first thing that happened right off the bat, the very first shot that we got me thinking that perhaps this episode is going to be better presented than the first part. It was just a pretty nice sort of shot, which again reiterated what we had seen in the previous episode. Maggie falling from the roof. This place gives me the heebie-jeebies. Let's hoof it. Is that really something Negan would say? Anyway, yeah, so I like it when an episode gets off to a good start. That first shot where it's just following the tracks and you're just sort of seeing what's happening from this obscured point of view. Loved it. I thought that was a pretty good shot. But then we kind of got to Maggie's escape, which it just made me think of the Glenn fake out death that everybody just loved so much. I don't know why they did that. Because looking at the situation that she was in, you're just like, well, she can't escape from that at all. But she just kind of did. So I thought that was a little bit of a mistake. But yeah, and then there's another slight criticism. Let's get the criticisms out of the way, which is that the other guys are back in their interrogation, and that seems a bit weird because we didn't get to see how they actually escaped from their cell, and indeed from the interrogation complex. But they seem to just sort of go back in. They must have at least stolen 2 uniforms, perhaps while those 2 guards who were into each other were at it or something. But it just seems weird that they're back in the interrogation and nobody seems particularly bothered. I presume that they would have had to attack some guards. I would have thought the Commonwealth, they seemed pretty hostile generally. why wouldn't they have been bothered by people nicking stuff, the uniforms, and trying to escape? It seems really weird. Again, it seems like an oversight. Happened in the first episode as well, where it felt like there was, a couple of missing scenes. This one, they're just like, oh, let's not escape anymore. Okay, and they're back in the room, and you're like, oh, did they give the uniforms back? Did they tell anyone they tried to escape? Did nobody mind? Like, what? What actually happened? Anyway, though. So those are the two niggles, the fake out death and the strange teleporting ability of Eugene's team. But overall, this was a good episode, I thought. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a big improvement on the first one. So, yeah, we had slightly longer runtime. That lets some of the scenes breathe a bit more, like some of the scenes where there was some talking going on. So, for example, Eugene's interrogation, Maggie telling her story. Those scenes had a bit of chance to breathe, but also at the same time, I thought the action was much, much better. We had some great action sequences, some one takes, Daryl being a badass, everyone sort of fighting very desperately against those walkers, including Gage. And it was just shot a lot more nicely. The lighting was a lot better. Framing and blocking was a lot better. I don't know if it was the same director. If it was, they were having a bad day on that first one, because it was a pretty ugly looking episode. This one, much, much better. Yeah, consider me impressed with how this episode was actually put together. Speaking of that action, did anyone else notice it seemed inspired by Korean cinema? Old Boy, Train to Busan, those scrolling one-shots. I thought that was a great way, for The Walking Dead to do some action, show off just how badass Daryl is. That stuff was great. Other highlights, Negan explaining that he didn't kill Maggie, he just refused to save her. I quite like that. You're like, that's a really Negan thing to do. And he's kind of got a point. He's like, no, I didn't try to kill her. I just didn't do anything about it when I thought that she was going to get killed. Why would I? And him sort of going like, she said that she was going to kill me. So why would I do that? Why would I help her? And you're like, yeah. Again, Negan constantly coming up with good points. And I guess that kind of has a parallel with one of Maggie's actions, which is her letting Gage get killed. That is the most polite way that you could say. You could say that she outright killed him. But she, at the very least, allowed him to get killed, just as Negan was going to allow Maggie to get killed. And Gage wasn't even trying to take anyone out or anything. Of course, yes, we have Gabriel siding with Maggie on the whole, let's kill this innocent person. Of course he does. Because Gabriel is a psychopath. Gabopath is well on board with just like, screw him, he's a coward, leave him to die, who cares? Like, keeping the Christian end up there. Gabriel, as ever. I thought the Maggie and Negan feud seemed resolved pretty quickly. I mean, I don't know if there's still some lingering stuff. It seemed like it needed a bit more of a powerful scene to really sort of bring them together. At the moment, it just looks like they've bonded over the fact that they're both willing to let people die rather than save them, which weird. Sort of that's kind of bizarre. But that seems to be how it's gone. Hopefully we're still going to see a little bit more of that feud, because god damn it, we as the audience are kind of okay with Negan now. But if you remember back when he killed Glenn, oh my god, how much animosity did you have for Negan? You would have killed him. You could definitely understand why Maggie would want to off him. But anyway, Um, mm, 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 mm. So, of note, Josh McDermott gives an acting masterclass during his interview. Great, great acting there. Great performances. Good performances from everyone. And I kind of like how you got to learn a bit more about the characters. You know, Princess's easygoing sort of charisma, Yumiko's observational skills. Eugene, was he telling the truth or was he not? It's kind of a little unclear. But I think that it seems like the Commonwealth liked the characters not playing along with their games. They seem to be much more intrigued. They seem to favour them, especially over some of those other prisoners, when our heroes started to buck against what was being done and show some initiative and show some independence and just sort of go like, hey, look, we aren't really putting up with this. I think that's kind of what the Commonwealth was looking for. Maybe that's why they were so lenient when it came to their escape attempt and infiltration back after maybe that's going to explain it. I don't know. Great ending as well. We saw wave after wave of walkers being taken out. They were still a threat, They took out Gage and the other older guy as well. Looked like he was pretty badly mauled. But ultimately our heroes prevailed. That end sequence where you have, some kind of reject purge militia marching towards them, tooled up, looking like they're ready for business. I mean, our heroes are not going to just walk through these guys. They've already caused a ton of damage from what we've seen, and they offed the non-main characters pretty quickly. Big threat there. So it sets up episode 3. Kind of makes them feel like they're a different threat from the Whisperers. The Whisperers were kind of insidious, sneaky. You could talk to them even though they were usually being very duplicitous. These guys, they got scary masks. They've got rusty machetes. They've got crossbows. They string people up. They're not messing around. Big, powerful, tooled up, physical threat that's just going to march up to you and just wipe you out. So, season 11, the final season, kind of intrigued to find out more about the Commonwealth, find out more about these baddies. What did you think? I thought episode 2, definitely a big improvement on episode 1, and I am excited about the Walking Dead story. I want to see where this is going to go. Anyway, there we go. That's my review of the episode, my review of the new mission. What did you think? Let me know in the comments. And as ever, thank you for watching.